All right, but let's move on. Speaking of conversation, Rob, and to me, and we got to put a caveat on this because big story came out in the NBA that Daryl Morey, who we know was left the Houston Rockets as GM after 13 years and is promptly hired by the Philadelphia 76ers. Now the reports come out that he is eyeing James Harden. Now, first of all, let me say this. The news that Daryl Morey would like to add James Harden to Philadelphia's roster is not news. Daryl Morey wants every superstar. It's not a bad thing, but I'm just saying. He wants Giannis Antetokounmpo too. He wants LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard too. Look at Daryl Morey's history. Every big name that hits the free agent market, Daryl Morey gets involved. Whether the Rockets had cap room or not, whether they had a viable trade or not. When LeBron was a free agent, Daryl Morey was in the hunt. When Chris Bosh was a free agent and all Bosh or LeBron left Miami and Bosh was a free agent that year, Houston was in the hunt. When Carmelo Anthony went back to New York rather than going to Chicago or the Lakers, guess who else was in the hunt? The Houston Rockets. So this is not news. And other than if they want to just do a salary dump, which I think would be the wrong move for the Rockets, I get it. Tillman Furtada, their owner, owned Landry's Restaurant, some others. You know, obviously the restaurant business is taking a hit. And does he want to just cut bait? We're not going to win a championship. Let me start moving some of these guys. I guess he could try to do that, but I wouldn't. You know, Rob, they ain't going to win a championship, but still, if you can't win a championship, the next best thing is being relevant. And they got two superstars. They're on national television a lot. They're one of the, big name teams in the NBA. I think that's worse. You got a future first ballot Hall of Famer right there. Actually, two of them with Westbrook. I think you keep Harden there, but let's play along. And so I'm going to ask you, Rob, if you were Daryl Morey, you know what they got, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris, a few other guys. Would you, if you could, I don't think Houston will do it, but if you could, would you add James Harden and give up one of your young stars to do it?
No way, no how. The Philadelphia, I feel bad for basketball fans in Philadelphia because somehow, some way, in this quest to win a championship, they've turned into the Philadelphia loser Sixers. I mean, like everybody they've acquired has some checkered past when it comes to the postseason. Yes, Doc Rivers won a championship, but of late, it has been bad, not good. Daryl Morey was running that franchise for what, Chris, 17 years?
13 years.
13 years, and they got to the conference finals twice in 13 years. Yep. Is that what it was?
Never to the finals. Yep.
Never to the finals. And then James Harden, who's been a great regular season player, flames out in the postseason, can't get his team over the hump, has had some of the worst and most embarrassing shooting slumps in the postseason. And that's what you want to add. That's the change of the culture. Let's bring in everybody who hasn't gotten it done. And that's how we're going to change the Philadelphia 76ers and the winners. I think it's ludicrous, asinine. What did Stephen A. and them used to say? Ass a 10, ass a 20. Whatever you want to say it. It makes no sense to make that happen. I'm sorry, Chris. I just think it's throwing out. You just said it. Daryl Morey's always big names. I want to be attached to big names. So throw it out there. James Harden is a great player, Chris. I get it. That's not who I want. He's already proven to me that the postseason, his game and getting calls and all the stuff that happens during the regular season doesn't seem to work come postseason. So I don't know where the 76ers, loser Sixers are going with this plan.
Well, I think there's a difference between not winning a ring and being a loser. Like, Doc hasn't won in a while. Daryl Morey never won anything, as a ring or even a Western Conference championship.
When I say losers, I'm in a playful way.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think bringing in, like, I would do it, Rob. I'll cut to the chase. If I could get James Harden for Ben Simmons, oh, I'm walking, driving, flying Ben Simmons to Houston myself. He's injured. He's been a bit injury prone. He's been in the league 3 seasons now, 3 full seasons he's played. Still isn't shooting jump shots. Forget making them, shooting them. If I could get James Harden for Ben Simmons and, Mike Scott, Zaire Smith, something like that, I would do it. Because I'm telling you, Rob, Harden, now remember, he's been in the West where it's a lot tougher. But put Harden, Embiid, and Tobias Harris in the East, I think, Rob, on paper, they're right there with Brooklyn as the best team in the East on paper. And I'm not saying this can happen, but I would do it if I'm Philly. I also would look at, I don't know that I'd do it, but if Houston said, you know what, we want Embiid, that's the guy we want for Harden, I would say, can I run the pick and roll, the high pick and roll with Harden and Simmons? I can't pick and pop because nobody's going to respect his jumper. But Simmons rolling to the bucket, Simmons playing center full time, kind of like a Draymond Green. Is Simmons willing to do that? Is there an offense I can craft around that Doc Rivers? Like, I would look at it, probably wouldn't pull that trigger yet if I was Philly, but I would look. I think if they could add Harden, Rob, that'd be a coup. Especially bring that boy to the East. It's a little easier out there.
I'm good on Harden.
You are down. You were just a year ago, you were saying he's the best player in the world.
I'm good on Harden. I've seen too much now. And if you're trying to get there in the postseason, I'm just.
He was close.
Okay.
I like Harden. I would do it, Philly, but look, we're not trying to get your hopes up. That rumor's out there. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's fun to entertain. Would you split up Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, send one of them to Houston to get James Harden? Your turn to weigh in.
Jabari, in Michigan, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Hey, what's up, Rob and Chris? Good to hear from you guys again, doing good things as always in the
Yes,
couple.
sir.
All right, so would I trade? Absolutely, no doubt. I would trade Joel Embiid because he cannot stay healthy, and he usually is not in great condition. And I think it would be great for him to be in Houston to work on his game with Hakeem Olajuwon in Houston. With Ben Simmons and James Harden, Ben Simmons will be at his best playing the forward position and going fast, going up and down with James Harden. And James Harden, it's like he can have the ball in his hands most of the time, but he doesn't need it all the time. And I think that with James Harden and Ben Simmons playing the way how they play, it could bring the 76ers honestly to an NBA championship at their best.
Wow. So you would ship out Embiid instead of Simmons. You made some sense. I mean, that's a good theory. Now, would it work on paper is somewhat of a question mark, but I'm not mad at you. That's, I said you'd have to think about Embiid. But my preference would be to probably give up Simmons. But good call. Good call.
Raphael in Brazil, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. And Raphael, those Odd Couple flips are on their way to you.
Okay, man.
All the way down to Brazil. Wear those on the beach out in Brazil.
He'll be the only one but he'll be wearing them in Ipanema, right?
No, we don't have beaches here in Campo Grande. It's where I live, so not at the beach, but maybe at the river or something like that, at the waterfall, something like that.
Right. He doesn't.
What's
live
on
in
your
Rio.
mind, man? What's on your mind?
First of all, how are you doing, Alex and Rob G?
Raphael, my friend, it's good to hear from you.
Alex just let us know he's running for president one day.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Alex for president.
Okay. About the trade. Yes, if I'm the Sixers, I pull the trigger. I would trade Ben Simmons, but I don't want to give up my shooters. I don't want to give up, for example, Tobias Harris, and maybe I give up Josh Richardson. But if I'm Houston, I would demand a lot for James Harden. I would have to get picks and Richardson and maybe something else, because
Well, see,
James
that's
Harden.
the thing. Look, if Houston were willing to trade Harden or looking to trade him, I think they could get a better package than Philly can offer.
Yes, of course.
You know,
of course.
that's the thing. So,
That's
like I
the
said,
thing.
I don't think it will happen, but it's out there. So we're going to address it. Thank you, Raphael. Great call,
Yes,
brother.
thanks for your support, and let me know when you get those. How about Mark in Sacramento? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up?
What's up, guys? Hey, real quick, I don't think Harden fits in Houston with either one of those guys because he has to have the ball in his hands. Simmons has to have the ball in his hands to be effective. And Embiid, if he's playing with Embiid wants the ball in his hands. And if he's playing with Embiid, that might even turn into a Shaq Kobe, give me the ball, who has the ball in their hands at the end of the game kind of thing. So I don't know if
Shaq
Harden
and
fits
Kobe
there.
did win 3 championships.
I get it, but they ain't Shaq and Kobe. so we can leave it at that. But I don't know if he fits there.
Well, remember,
just
here's
don't.
the thing. He's going to be different, and he's going to be different this year under Steven Silas, I would think, because remember, Mark, before he got with Mike D'Antoni, Harden was a little bit more of a well-rounded offensive player.
He's
in
not going
OKC,
backwards, Chris. I can't buy
well,
that. You
but
think
it's
he's
not
gonna-
going back.
he's gonna
Yeah,
revert?
I think if he were, and it probably will happen this year, he's going to be a big scorer. But let's say hypothetically he went to Philly. I think he would average 26, 27 and be a little bit more, not dominate the ball as much because he showed he could do that when he was in Oklahoma City. Now, you're right. I'm not saying he goes back to that where he was with Westbrook and Durant because obviously he didn't get to showcase all of his stuff. I'm just saying I don't think he has to be the dribble, shoot, dominating the ball guy.
He's had
all
so
the
much
time.
success doing
Yeah,
it.
I hear you.
I
But he
find it
hadn't
hard
won.
to believe.
He
No,
hadn't
but
won.
I'm just talking about
Individually,
as
he's been
success
great.
as a player, right? I just think it's hard.
It's
How
made him a
about
legend, right? I'll give you that. I understand.
Yeah, I
where you're
mean,
coming
that's
from.
why people know who he is now and why Adidas has the Harden and I got all the sweatpants and the sneakers and all that. How about Joseph in Virginia? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Fellas, I'm sorry, but Embiid, send him out. You gotta send him. I'm
So
sorry.
you would rather
Cheeseburgers
trade
on the sideline, I
Embiid?
can't.
You would rather give up Embiid than Simmons for Harden?
I think Ben Simmons, and because you got to remember, James Harden was very successful with Chris Paul, and I feel like if he
Right.
was off the ball and actually had somebody that wasn't turnover prone like Russell, I think he'd feel more comfortable playing off the ball. Now, I think they would be able to send Embiid because they still have all those bigs in Tobias Harris as well as Al Horford. So I think if you're going to do a small ball dynamic, you don't think that would be a better fit with the Josh Richardson, James Harden, and maybe Ben
Is
at the
Doc?
one.
I don't know that Doc wants to play small ball. Remember,
I
Mike
don't think-
D'Antoni's not the coach. I hear
Absolutely.
you. I mean, I think it's, the key is would Simmons be willing to essentially be a big? Now, he can bring the ball up in transition and push it and all that, but a lot of his time would be spent at the rim in the dunker spot, as they kind of call it, by the baseline, or near the free throw line and roll into the bucket, which he can be very effective, but can he accept that? If he can, maybe he got something there.